Hi, my name is Orla, and in this channel I read short stories for children and adults who are interested. In this video I'll be reading another great story from Girls Who Slay Monsters, Daring Tales of Ireland's Forgotten Goddesses. Great book. Written by Ellen Ryan, illustrated by Shona Shirley MacDonald. And in this video, I'll be telling the story of Fan, another Irish goddess. She's an eco-warrior. So get cozy, cuddle down, and let's begin. Fan, eco-warrior. Fan was a feisty, emerald-eyed shapeshifter who lived in the outer world's plane of happiness. It was a hidden realm under the Irish Sea where gods rode fearsome water horses under a lilac sky and caught shoals of glittering fish in the plentiful waters. But despite the beauty of the land, Fan believed life was very unfair to the creatures who lived there. For a start, she didn't think gods should ride horses. The animals couldn't give their consent, and they were no one's property to possess. So several times, when their owners slept at night, Fan set horses loose to roam across the land. She also disagreed with eating animals, so she secretly replaced catches of fish with carrot pies. When news arrived that war had broken out against demon enemies and fierce battles were taking place in the mortal world, Fan was terrified that innocent animals might get caught up in the chaos and be killed. They don't deserve to suffer just so monsters and men can squabble over land. The goddess decided she must warn creatures of the mortal world to stay away from the battlefields. So she left her realm and swam up through the sea to Ireland to find seabirds swooping through the sky. She called out to them in the speech of the gods, but the sound that came out of her mouth was a bird squawk. She felt her lips protrude and harden into a beak as her arms sprouted sea-soaked green feathers that glittered like emeralds in the sun. As a bird, she felt a connection to the still centre of nature, and her worries faded. Instead, she felt the joy of being, but she hadn't forgotten her mission. So she spread her wings and flew, fearless and swift, like a spring wind all along the Irish coastlines, until 150 flocks, from black-headed gulls to curve-beaked curlews, soared by her side, spreading a warning of the coming battle. Soon they flew close to the coasts of Ireland's County Louth, where she noticed a handsome mortal boy on the beach. He was with friends riding stallions in a Halloween festival race. She pitied the horses, but couldn't help marvelling at the boy's beautiful coloured hair, brown at the front, blood red in the middle, and golden at the back. She slowed to watch when he left the race to cool off in the waves. But to her horror, just before the boy reached the water, one of his friends handed him a spear, and the pair began hunting her fellow birds. Fan quickly defended the flocks by blocking them from harm. She assumed the mortal would recognise her as a god and put down his spear. But when the boy spotted her glittering feathers and pictured how beautiful a cloak they would make, he tried to spear her instead. The weapon pierced Fan's wing and sent her plummeting into the ocean. The goddess felt dizzy and sick as her blood swirled into the water. She washed up onto the shore where she changed back into a goddess, her green feathers transforming into a long velvet robe. Taking a sharp, jagged shell, Fan cut the robe's cloth and used it to bandage her bleeding arm. For a little while she rested and tried to recover. By now, the boy had killed, roasted and eaten a couple of the birds. Sleepy after his heavy meal, he pulled his horse by the reins and staggered away to sleep under a gnarled hawthorn tree. Some time later he woke to see a beautiful but fierce-looking girl standing over him. Her cloak was the same shade of green as the bird he had speared, and she cradled a bandaged arm. The boy was confused for a moment, but then it dawned on him. This girl was the bird, and he had injured her quite badly. Fan was already very angry. But when she noticed a whip lying near the mortal and correctly guessed he had used it to beat his horse, her anger turned to fury. She snatched up the whip and, smiling at him, she used it to lash the boy. He moaned loudly as the whip split his skin, and he soon seemed nearly dead. But then, in an instant, his wounds knit back together again. Fan couldn't believe her eyes. "What kind of mortal heals so easily as this?" she demanded. "My father is a god," he told her, puffing out his chest. "I am Cuchulainn, the hero in training." "You're no hero of mine," she replied. "You deserve to be as helpless as your prey." With the force of her rage, Fan put a terrible curse on Cuchulainn. She lashed the boy again, and this time his wounds wouldn't heal. So he felt the pain of every bird he killed and every horse he'd whipped. He cried out in agony and begged her to remove the curse. Eventually she agreed on one condition. He must give up hunting and instead use his strength to fight for the gods against their demon enemies. Cuchulainn gratefully accepted Fan's terms and immediately left the beach to go and fight with the gods in war. He became a great warrior, winning many battles and saving countless lives. Cuchulainn remained true to his word and never forgot Fan's beauty or eco-warrior spirit. Years later, he returned to their beach and called out over the skies. He'd come to realise that he loved this brave and sensitive goddess. He wanted to spend his life with her. The birds heard his call, and when word of Cuchulainn's love reached Fan, she fluttered with happiness. For from the moment she laid eyes on him, she had thought he was handsome, so she happily agreed to be his girlfriend. For one dreamy month, the two lovebirds spent every moment together. They swam in the sea and foraged for blue asparagus that grew along the dunes. And at night they lay on the sunburned sand, gazed at the stars, and planned an eternity together. Until one day, Cuchulainn's wife arrived to take him home. Fan was shocked. Cuchulainn had been away fighting for many years, but it never occurred to her that he had married during this time. Hurt as she was, the goddess was equally upset for Cuchulainn's wife. Her name was Emer, and, heartbroken without her husband, she had bravely travelled across Ireland to try and find him. Fan realised that, Although Cuchulainn had given up hunting, he still didn't care how much he hurt others. But the goddess was protective of all animals, including mortal women. "Don't worry, Emer," Fan said. "This man is yours." Then she turned to Cuchulainn. "You might be beautiful, but if you don't go with Emer, I will whip you again. And this time you won't recover." He did as he was asked. Fan transformed into a bird, flew up to the sky, and left their beach, never to return. Instead, she lived wild and free, watching over the waves, sky, and animals. And for the eco warrior Fan, that was all she needed. Go Fan. There you go. The end. Another great story from Girls Who Slay Monsters. Until the next one. Bye bye.